Guys, it is that Pentagon. I'm here again with another video, and today we're looking at the new hero, Claude Blanc, otherwise known as Harry Potter if you were to jump in a time travel machine, okay? I know this video is a bit late, or a bit late, but I am finally getting around to it. I also did notice that Z had made a video already on this, so if you do want an explanation that's probably going to be better than mine, I would actually recommend watching Z's video, as he is actually really good at explaining these things. But yeah, we'll talk about this hero and we'll just give our thoughts on it. This one's much more easy. It's much easier for me to give my thoughts on, as this hero has already been released by the time this video is coming out. There is a leader roulette coming on as of now. And I do want to note, we do not know if this leader roulette will be an event that comes around continuously, so I would not rely on, coming back around. If you want the hero, get the hero, right? I know it's going to probably cost money, because unless you're extremely lucky with your pool, it's just a pay to win event in a sense, right? So if you really want the hero, I would just I would just try guaranteeing it, as a lot of these leader heroes that we get do not come around regularly and they are very hard to obtain. So yeah, basically that's that. And let's get into its skills. I also did notice he had a cooperation thing on his talent tree, so this is a new addition to the talent tree, which we will be looking at just a little bit at the very end of this video. Yeah, let's start off on his first skill. I did find this first skill slightly funny, as the reduction in rage required is generally going to be more useful for whales, right? Just because whales generally build up leader sets way more than an average plebeian in the game, right? I think that kind of goes without saying. There's a lot less normal players who build up leader sets, as infantry range riders generally are just infinitely more useful. If you lead with someone like Bianca, the only reason you would kind of do that is if maybe you're using Marco as a support, right? Just to make her get focused and then get Marco's debuffs. Otherwise, you don't get this a lot unless people lead with Victor in a tower, and even then, even whales kind of generally have a better build on rider infantry range heroes than they do on their leader set. So this will just make it infinitely more useful. I also do want to say real quick, I was talking with someone and they kind of making a really good point. If you're using someone like Claude and Bianca in a march, I kind of thought this was a really good idea. Just use them in the march together, especially if you're a whale, right? And then just hone for a bunch of block attributes on said armament, because then people are going to target that march, and if you have a ton of block attributes and whatnot, it will make it super ineffective for killing, and it'll just make this kind of combo even better. But basically, let's get into it. Rage required 950, so there's a 50 drop off on the average hero. Rage required, there is a reduction in skill damage taken by 20% for 4 seconds, and it grants a status to self and nearby allies. It increases their target damage by 25% for 4 seconds if their remaining squad size is greater than 50%. This is a buff that is going to go out to your allies, right, in your vicinity. When the target squad size is less than 50%, they receive a heal factor, the lightly wounded squads, being healed up to 3,000 here, and it reduces their damage taken by up to 15% for 4 seconds. So it goes from an increase on damage dealt to a reduction in damage taken. It affects up to 5 allied squads, or yeah. So this is a really nice skill, honestly. All around, this is an extremely useful skill. I did notice, by the way, when I was watching in G1, there was a, like rally captain who I'm pretty sure like they sent this because this rally captain was less useful as a rally captain, and they had them running Claude, right? I mean, this could be infinitely useful in AR just because of all the buffing and debuffing, not to mention if you're to send swarms, right? Like this is extremely useful, and I just love kind of this skill in general. But let's get into the second skill. And by the way, this is a little deceiving, because it says like 35, but it's actually 30. It's just because when you awaken the hero, basically it goes from 30 to 35 here. So I'll actually look at it on unmaxed. After using a rage skill, it reduces the HP and travel speed of up to 5 enemies by up to 30%, and the travel speed of them as well by 40% respectively. So you basically reduce the HP by 30% and travel speed by 40%. So that's a pretty useful skill. The reduction in HP is honestly massive. Even unawakened, find that extremely useful. skill 3 though, it increased the squad HP by 20%, it increases the travel speed by 20% as well, and it increases the squad capacity by 10%. This is infinitely useful as well. I mean, it's just a really nice skill. I love squad capacity type stuff. I just love it for some reason. But yeah, I don't really think there's a whole lot for me to kind of cover on this. I think it's kind of self-explanatory how the skill works. Basically, you get more squad cap, you get an increase in HP, travel speed, yada yada yada. Fourth skill, it reduces the counter damage received by 20%, and when you are taking skill damage, you also gain a shield, the shield factor being 3000 for 2 seconds. I just want to mention that this reduction in counter damage is not tied down to taking skill damage. There is a period right here, it's just on the next line. So the reduction in skill damage, in counter damage taken, yeah. And the skill damage thing is only applied to your actual hero, just so you know. This effect can be triggered only once in 6 seconds. The Awaken skill, basically it transverts the second skill that I was talking about. It transverts it from 30% to 35%, the reduction in HP, and the travel speed stays the same. But as well, what ends up happening is it also reduces the rage recovery by 20% during this time. So it adds on an additional kind of part to that skill. So that is infinitely useful to me. I honestly love this hero so far as I'm seeing it. I can find this extremely useful in the field, AOD, whatever you say. And basically, you go to the talent tree, and we'll just talk a little bit about it. I don't really want to dabble into this too much. But basically, there are this talent tree is kind of infinitely useful in the field. I mean, they kind of also have skills in here, I guess, set to make it to where you do not want to rally or garrison with this. I mean, obviously, you did see it on a rally, right, earlier in G1, like I said. But these talents aren't everything. Obviously, if you're able to make your other rally shine, I can see it being far more useful to just kind of take advantage of the actual normal skills in here than anything. But yeah, basically, we can go in here. Squads not rallying or garrison gain an additional 12 rage when attacked. There is also another skill, increases the basic damage, attack damage by, I think it's going to be up to 4 or 5%, probably 4% when flanking. Increases squad attack by 6% for squads not rallying or garrison. Basically this is a new talent tree. Increases, immediately gains 75 range when entering battle. Pretty nice talent. Increases counter damage by 5% for squads not rallying or garrisoned. So if you are going to do what I actually said, like using it as another kind of hero to rally with, I do recommend actually changing up the talent tree a bit. I wouldn't recommend using most of this talent tree if you're using it as a buffer rally in AR. But yeah, and basically the last one, increases squad attack and HP by 1.8% up to a maximum of 9% for 5 seconds for each squad nearby when using a rage skill. This basically is just a buffer skill as well. So it's a nice hero all around. I don't have any complaints, to be honest. I mean, for if you're an average guy, it really depends how you want to run him. If you want, thing is, now you got Bianca, you got Claude, so you're also taking up two hero spots. But I could see you running Claude with Marco, or I could see I guess Bodala in some cases. I mean, really depends up to you, right? Either way, I do want to hear what you guys think about this. I want to hear your opinion on this new hero. Maybe drop a comment, give me your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys like this hero, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, you guys have a good day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.